new mic. I feel very fancy holding this. I'm hoping that I'm able to actually match up the recording with the video because I've had a lot of issues in the past with the recording randomly stopping, and I'm still talking, so we will see. Hello! From the title of this video, you can tell that I'm going to be talking about making a vision board from Tree to Sea Ceramics for 2023. I was trying to decide in my head whether I wanted this to be like a vision board or like a mood board, and I decided that it doesn't really matter. I'm making this more for fun and focus rather than anything too serious, so I kind of just wrote down a bunch of, what's the word I'm looking for? I wrote down a bunch of qualities that I as a business owner want to have or maybe grow this coming year. And actually, on that note, I'm not sure if any of you do a word of the year. I typically do have a word of the year for myself, my own personal life. The word of the year that I chose this year is, what did I choose? Hold on, let me check. The word I chose is growing or growth. So definition, the process of developing or maturing physically, mentally, or spiritually. I think I'm going to use this word for both my personal and my practice actually this year. In that sense, when I say growing, what I'm thinking about is I want to try a bunch of new techniques that you can use in pottery, things that I've maybe dabbled in before but I've never necessarily tried to master. And that's kind of like a difficult thing to say because I don't necessarily feel like I need to master them, but I want to get really comfortable. And I have 3 things in mind that I will be sharing like throughout the year, the process of me learning and enhancing my skills. I'm being really vague about it simply because the things I have planned for the first thing, I'm just keeping very close to my heart until the first collection is in the works. Trust me, you're gonna see it. I'm gonna be filming it, so don't worry, it's coming. But yeah, so I want to grow this year. And in that sense, I also just want to like keep learning. How do I put this? Last year, I spent a lot of time in the studio while I was working, just watching shows and movies and like a lot of rewatching because obviously while I'm working, I can't pay full attention. So it's nice to have something on in the background that don't need to be fully aware of. But this year I would love to start listening to more podcasts, audiobooks. There is the Libby app, which allows you to borrow library audiobooks. And of course, there is Skillshare, who is the sponsor of today's video. If you haven't heard of Skillshare before, it's an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people to explore new skills, develop existing interests, and get lost in creativity. Skillshare is a great place to start if your goals for this year also include learning and growing your skill set, especially if you're a small business who could use a little more info on the business side of things. Maybe you want to finally launch your own online shop or rebrand your current business or even become more confident in your art practice. Skillshare has classes on all of these things and even more for you to discover. I have been listening to this class by Emma Gannon while working in the studio called Unlocking Your Potential: 5 exercises to build creative confidence. I think this subject is super important living in this Instagram era where we are constantly shown what everyone else is doing, and it's only natural to compare yourself to others. I personally think that we could all use a little creative confidence boost. If you're interested in trying out Skillshare, the first 1,000 people to use the link in my description will get a 1-month free trial. And thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. And now back to our vision board. I wrote down a list of attributes that I would like to work on this year, or just kind of like keep in mind as I go through the day-to-day. I'm very much in a state of like, I feel good and I don't want to be too hard on myself, but I have goals. We're just not very hardcore about it. We're pretty easygoing. So I also decided to use this new mic today because I figured I'd be doing a lot of screen sharing, and I think it's nice to have really nice audio when you're just looking at a screen and you're not even looking at the person, because then you can't read lips. And I know I tend to like mumble and talk really quietly. So if this annoys you that I'm holding the mic, I'm so sorry, but I love the feeling of it. I feel like I'm like giving a speech or I don't know, doing something important, I guess. So the last 2 years, I'd say I've been planning out my year in Notion, and I love Notion. I will recommend a template down below by Jules Acree. I don't know if I'm saying her last name right. Sorry, Jules. I love all her templates, and I've definitely mentioned them before in a From Tree to Sea newsletter. So if you're not subscribed to my newsletter, feel free to subscribe to that too. I'll also link it down below. But yeah, so I'm gonna switch over to Notion now. I'll probably blur out all this other side stuff because you don't really need to know it. But this is all I have, and this is just in my 2023 brain dump section. Maybe this is interesting to you to see kind of like all these different things I have. I have a yearly planner, brain dump, ideas for my art show, a YouTube content planner. This is like a monthly finance thing that I have not set up yet. I just have it there because we're moving into a house, we're gonna have a mortgage, we need to talk about these things. Anyway, okay, from tree to sea in 2023. And I kind of was just writing down like words that I want to keep in mind as I carry myself through this year. I really should have prefaced this by saying the last time I made a vision board was in, I think, April. No, it was March of 2020 because it was like a week into the pandemic. And I made a vision board, like a physical board on a cork board. I cut out pictures from a magazine and I posted a picture of it on Instagram with the caption, "A vision board for all the fun things I'm gonna do in 3 weeks when this pandemic thing is over." I don't think we were calling it a pandemic back then, but yeah, just so optimistic, so hopeful, and that's the last time I made a vision board. So if you came here for vision boarding advice, this is not the place. This is just me messing around, trying to make a fun video and having fun for myself. So please keep that in mind. So I have dialed in the things I want to put on my vision board. Keep an organized studio. Focus in on admin, so responding to emails, doing my newsletter, being intentional. Again, this is my word last year, so I just want to kind of carry this into the new year, being intentional with everything that I do or that I say yes to. For example, I know that doing pre-orders of any kind does not align with the way my brain works and the way that my practice works and the way that I run my business. And for some reason, last year, I did pre-orders. And while it was really fun and a cool experience, even though I had some minor negative feedback, I know it's not for me. I knew it wasn't for me then, and I thought I'd give it like one more try, and I know for sure now that anything where I have to have people waiting for me to provide them with something, it's not for me. I hate having like a deadline on my back. I think it's different with wholesale because generally I'm creating something that I already typically make or is within my wheelhouse, but when I'm doing pre-orders for something and it's like a bunch of individual people versus one shop waiting for something, I don't know. There's something about it that does not compute in my brain, and what's the word? I get stressed out and I freeze. Instead of flight mode, I go into freeze mode and I just don't do anything and I just try to like avoid it. Anyway, okay, we're moving on. Fun and color. I want to have fun. I want to do a lot of colorful things, which I have been doing over the past couple years, but I want to like ramp it up to the next level. Okay, learning new skills. As I talked about, I want to kind of like not master these new techniques, but I want to become really comfortable in 3 particular techniques that I have dabbled in or never tried before that I have chosen for this coming year that I want to focus on. Colored clay. I want to do some fun stuff with colored clay. Oh, I forgot to add this in on here, but art show. I will be doing an art show with Rima this year. I already said I would do it in another vlog. I ran into her and chatted with her, and she was like, "Oh, I saw that you're doing an art show," and I was like, I forgot I said that, but yes, I will do it, and we will do it together, which will make it less daunting. Wearing what I feel good in to the studio. So the days when I come in and I feel really schlobby, like I feel that in my practice too, like when I'm really greasy and really gross, like it just doesn't, I don't know, the vibe isn't right in here. I want to wear like cute outfits to the studio, and I do think doing YouTube, which is the next one, creating YouTube content, I do think that like in a way kind of makes me excited to like do my hair, do my bangs. This is the first time I've done my bangs in like a week, and I think it's good for me. Okay, let's see what I come up with. Go to Pinterest, get it together. I'll be right back and show you what I put together. Me again. Okay, fast forward, I have all the photos I saved from Pinterest in Canva, and for everything on Pinterest, I kind of like looked up the base of what I was looking for, and a lot of things I had to add the word aesthetic to the end to get the picture I was going for. Okay, so this one is just a monstera, and it's a reminder to keep my plants alive. That's kind of what we're going for there. I have some test tile photos, which goes along with the colored clay / glaze experiments I want to do this year. But this year, I don't know, I'm kind of just throwing things at the wind. This is supposed to represent me doing emails and staying organized and just doing the damn thing, you know? Very important. And, you know, like I said, maybe I'll carve out some time and go work at a coffee shop when I do this. Put it over here. I have some great glaze books. This is supposed to represent learning and growing and learning. That's what we're doing this year. Wearing cute things to the studio. I like this fit because it's cozy, comfy, but totally fine for the studio. I'd wear this to the studio. An art show. I don't necessarily want to do pieces like this, but some bigger scale things would be very cool. How do people make these look like good? Okay, let's just do that. Shush that in there. I am hoping to get a kiln this year, just a little baby cutie test kiln, so don't get too excited, but that is something I'm working on currently. Some crates, because I am an organizer by crates. This is how I live my life at home and at work. Put these here, maybe make this here. And then again, I want to listen to some podcasts while I'm working this year. If you know Plant-Based Princess on YouTube, this is her. She's great. Just like cute studio vibes, you know? That's what we all want in this world. Just a cute studio. Okay, I think this is it. Is this a vision board? Feels vision-y to me. I don't know if you can hear it, but my computer sounds like it's about to explode, which it kind of always does, but okay. That looks good to me. I love it. Okay, so I traded out the test house photo because I felt like it didn't really like match what I was going for. Anyway, I think this is done, so I'm going to save it, download, PNG, okay, download, and then we're going to set it as my desktop. Okay, there you have it. This is my vision board for 2023 from tree to sea. Let's get it. I am super excited with how it came out. Looking at it makes me feel super happy. I might even get it printed and put in the studio somewhere. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this process with me. I hope you had fun. Sorry it was a little bit all over the place. I'm sure I'll dial it in as I do more of these types of videos, these sit-down videos. Let me know down below what your goals or dreams are for 2023, or kind of just like if you're not really aiming to change anything and if you're just happy with the way things are. And if you're also like me and not trying to put a lot of pressure on yourself, but it is nice to have some sort of like guiding focus in your life. If you watch my videos, you know that I'm not very good at outros, but I will leave you here now and I will see you in the next one. Okay, thanks for being here. Bye.